and welcome everyone. Can everyone see that okay?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. So let's dive into how these two top advisors transform their business with FMG's Do It For Me program. So again, I'm Samantha Russell. I'm the Chief Evangelist here at FMG. Susan, would you like to introduce yourself?
I am the Chief Marketing Officer at FMG.
Awesome. And how about who's next on my list? Chad, can you share a little bit about yourself, please?
Chad Parmenter. I'm up here in the Seattle area. I have a practice by the name of Miras Planning. We specialize in life transitions, emotional and complex life transitions, team of three, and happy to be here.
Amazing. Thank you. We are going to show you, Chad just launched a brand new website. We're going to show it off today because it looks
Beautiful.
Yes, well done to you and your team. And Doug, so nice to see you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Sam, how are you? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. My name is Doug Howes. I am the founder of Sapphire Wealth Management. We're based in New England with offices in Andover, Massachusetts, Burlington, Vermont, and most recently, North Conway, New Hampshire. So 3 of the 6 New England states, and we specialize in financial planning.
Absolutely love it. Wonderful. So just to kick us off, I think that one of the things that Susan and I really hear over and over again, we'll go and we'll speak on stage. We will go to all these events and we love to share best practices. Whether you decide to work with FMG ever or not, we want to help every advisor be the best marketer they can be. But we would go and we would do this over and over again. And about 2 years, maybe, I guess it's almost 3 years ago at this point.
So.
Is it 3 years? Okay. People would constantly say, we loved all the tips you shared, but can you just do it for me? And after a while, we thought, I think Susan more than anyone was like, we need to create this program because the appetite is there and advisors just don't have the time. So we're going to show you today how it really is possible to partner with FMG to allow us to do it for you, but also show you how Doug and Chad are working with us in 2 very different ways, and that you can really work with our team in a way that's going to work best for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Of course, it's always like we love when we do the Sam and Susan show, but I have to say, I think our audience really prefers when we have some advisors on that can talk about their real life experiences. So I do hope the chat blows up. Maybe we need an icebreaker. I don't know, Sam, do you have a good icebreaker? Get the chat going.
I would love to know where everyone's favorite place that they're traveling this summer vacations, because I'm in Europe, I'm in London for the summer, and I'm always looking for tips of new places to go. So if anyone has a great spot, please let me know. It's amazing once you get here how easy it is to
Oh my gosh, we got the first one's Peru. Mine was Martha's Vineyard. Seems so like boring. Oh, Lake Hamptons, Mykonos. Oh my gosh.
Edinburgh,
Croatia, Rio, Chesapeake Bay, St. Augustine. Oh my gosh. Everybody's having fun this summer. This is great.
I love it.
I think I need to upgrade my vacations.
Chad and Doug, where are you guys going this summer?
I'm dropping off my youngest son to Columbia, South Carolina, at the University of South Carolina in August.
That's huge.
So it's cool. It'll be fun, but it's gonna be hot and humid and everything else. But I'm looking at these other spots and they look pretty nice.
Well, maybe you can jet out from there. But Congratulations. Is he a freshman?
He'll be a freshman studying international business. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, so great. Yeah. And Doug, you always go somewhere good.
Yeah, not as exciting as where everyone else seems to be going. My wife and I just got back from Savannah, Georgia, and then we're taking the whole family to Big Sky, Montana in about a month.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we'll have you back to talk about that because that's on my bucket list.
Yes. And you made me think, Chad, you absolutely, when you drop your son off, should take a picture of it and post it on social media, because that kind of post will get so much feedback.
Absolutely.
That also may reinforce the idea of maybe we need to get on Instagram too, right? So
yeah,
probably.
But you could tie it into college planning too, so it doesn't have to just be a personal photo.
We'll have 2 of them in college now, so there you go.
I'm gonna go. Chad, I'm gonna go one further. Take snippets of videos as you're taking your son to college over the trip, then embed it in an email to your clients what it's like taking your child to freshman year.
That's a good idea. I like it.
This is where you'll get, we have like the best 2 people. This will be really interactive, but marketing has a lot to do with your personality. And I think what you'll see from Doug and Chad, and hopefully we'll be able to convey that, is, it's our Do It For Me program, but also just in general, your marketing needs to reflect who you are. We use that word authentic probably too often, but Doug has a very, has his personality infused in everything he does. And Chad too has a different style. And so anyway, we'll give you examples, but I think the key is to make it your own. But anyway.
100%. So with that, I thought we could start maybe by just kind of level setting. Doug, if you wouldn't mind, we'll start with you, kind of sharing before you started with FMG's Do It For Me program. What did your marketing look like? Did you have someone internally who was running point for you? Did you, what were you doing?
It was awful.
He was pulling out his hair. But
yeah. What do you think caused all this? Yeah, no, it was a nightmare. So yeah, I had someone internally responsible for it who happens to be my director of operations, who has no interest, and I'm not saying this negatively about her. She happens to also be my wife, but no interest or skill set for marketing. And it was the least favorite part of her job. And so it was way too much time was being spent in producing average content, maybe at best, I would say. I mean, I'm probably giving ourselves too much credit for that to say it was even average. And there was you can imagine there was no continuity. Like the post had nothing to do with the emails, and we didn't even know how to spell blog at that point. In all sincerity, we didn't. And so it was just a lot of heavy lifting. And we tried to encourage other team members to send in things to us, which it didn't work. So, and then you have the final part of it, which was we had a plan on when we were going to say post or send emails, and life and business gets in the way. And so our consistency with that execution was hellacious. I mean, I can't say it any other way.
And I would love to hear in the chat how many of you have been either are currently or have been in this scenario where you have somebody on your team who's doing marketing as just an additional part of their job. It's not their full job. It's not even what they were hired for necessarily, but it's just got added on because you don't have a dedicated person. I think having an operations or an admin person, it's a very, very common. We run into that all of the time.
Yeah, that was just verbatim pretty much what we hear. It's it's sporadic, the intention is there, but it's really hard to execute. It takes too much time, you're not even sure it's good. So Chad, are you any different?
Yeah, I mean, so our marketing was kind of limited to things that I would write. I tend to be a fairly decent writer on different topics and ideas and that sort of thing, but we didn't have a written marketing plan. We didn't have somebody who was a guru from a standpoint of marketing. As a matter of fact, I would almost lean into the fact that our marketing was sort of like building a baseball field in a cornfield in Iowa and thinking that people were just going to show up.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come, sort of thing. And so we'd be like, oh, we're doing a great job for our clients. They're just gonna, show up. We're going to have all these people banging down our door, and it turns out that we need to be a little bit more proactive. So it's kind of a James Clear atomic habits. You don't rise to the level of your goals; you fall to the level of your systems. We didn't have any. We didn't have any systems.
I love
Atomic Habits. For those of you who have not read the book.
All right, that's not one. Say that one more time. I want to memorize.
You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So we had no systems, and I didn't want to recreate the wheel. By the way, somebody asked me my dog's name in the back here. That's Arrow, ARROW. He's a Woodle, Wheaten Terrier Poodle mix.
And don't get Doug on the topic of dogs, or we won't get back to this topic.
He has a sister, another Woodle, Audie, short for Autumn. But anyway, so that was, so from my perspective, and Susan, I think you and I bumped into each other at a conference 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was like, and we know we have a background with an advisor group back in the day, and I was like, I think I need some help. I think we could be better, but because we really didn't have a strategy. So.
Okay. Nope. That's great. Great background. So we launched this program. I was just reminded it was 3 years ago. It was rolled out, and it quickly became, right, Susan, the number one program that we sell and offer here at FMG. So for those of you not familiar, you can just have an FMG subscription, use our technology to send out your emails, host your website, and then have access to our content. But there are a lot of advisors who then don't want to be responsible for going in, choosing the pieces, deploying them. And so we should also know, and we will show you this, but the Do It For Me program has its own exclusive content separate than what somebody with a premium or an essential subscription has access to. So that it makes it a little different. But I'm going to share my screen again because there was this quote that I absolutely loved. Oh, sorry, stop sharing. Let me reshare here. I don't know why this went away. Sorry, I'm just going to share. There was a post that one of you made about your success in the program, and I just thought it was amazing. Hold on one second. Sorry, everybody. My window disappeared.
I hate that.
I know.
It happens to me, not you.
No. It happens to, I guess, me sometimes because I don't know where it went, but
The Sam and Susan show right here. There you go. Just kidding.
Not perfect all the time.
Just kidding.
But when you think about, when you think about what it means to have success in a program or just in your marketing in general, I think one of the things that's really interesting is people sometimes don't know even what to measure. Like what tells everybody that that my marketing is good, or how do I know whether it's working? And so that's why I thought this particular post was just so poignant. Okay, here we go. I finally found it. Sorry, everybody. Here we go. So yeah, it was you, Doug. Can everyone see that? So he said, he was talking about our program, and thank you for this lovely post, by the way, but he said, 3 different clients had offered you unsolicited praise for your website, that you were seeing an amazing open rate with 54% open rate, and that you had nearly 6,300 impressions from social posts on LinkedIn alone for 30 days. So,
And I think don't underestimate, because I honestly think I hear it the most frequent value proposition really is the time saver. It's the things that Doug was talking about, where the time saver, the accountability to execution, the consistency, the quality of content. These are like the downstream benefits, but don't underestimate the time savings. I think, Doug, like,
Well, you know what, and Susan, you and I talked about this at some point, but I've had this conversation with a number of financial advisor colleagues, because most of the people in my circle know I'm leveraging FMG to a large extent for our branding and our social and electronic platforms. And one of the things I've tried to convey to other advisors, like, so why are you so committed to FMG? My view of it is, in this industry, it's really not necessarily all that complex to get more. What do I mean by that? I can get more clients by making more, air quotes, dials. And with more clients, I'm going to get more revenue. With more revenue, I'll need more staff and bigger space. Like, more is not necessarily all that complex in this industry. The one thing I can't get more of, the one commodity, is time. And that, more than anything else, is what Do It For Me, more than FMG, the DIFM program did for me. And I'll give you an example. Prior to DIFM, between me and my team, we were spending between 12 and 15 hours a month putting together crap and putting it out there. I'm telling you what it is. We were putting together stuff and putting it out there with no rhyme or reason. Today, I'm down to 2 hours a month.
oh my God.
Amazing.
How about you, Chad? Were you even, I mean, you were doing most of the writing. Has it saved time for you? And, tell us a little bit about the impact of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we visit with Shannon every 30 days from your team on, kind of in a concierge sort of way. And we talk about what we're doing in terms of marketing ourselves, as well as what you guys are bringing to the table. And so we look at it from a standpoint of kind of as a starting point, and then we sort of customize things.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just take things verbatim as to what you put together. Other times we're like, well, that doesn't maybe fit right exactly as we would maybe say it. And that's no offense, but we always want to customize our content. And I think so that certainly it just creates a cadence for us. It's we know when it's happening. We know it's every whatever Monday it is in the morning, and Miley in my office and I and Shannon get together and we talk about all sorts of different things. And I just find that to be it just creates a rhythm, you know. And then we do a lot of in-person marketing, so in-person workshops, visiting with centers of influence, and we really utilize uh, FMG and our website and the content that we're putting out there, whether it's on LinkedIn or on our website or wherever, as a supportive, reinforcing tool
Yeah.
to that in person. I've come to the conclusion that I'm much better in person with people than doing things through digital marketing per se, but digital marketing is something I need to do. It's just that it's a supportive piece to my marketing strategy as far as who I am.
You know what I'm realizing, Sam? Maybe the first question we should ask Doug and Chad is to describe the program, because I think we got into the results, but many people on the call don't even really know what it is. So we could describe it. Might be better to have it in their words. Doug, would you
I
take
love
the
that.
first stab? Like, how would you describe this program to all of the wonderful people we have on the webinar?
So how would I describe DIFM to all of the wonderful people we have on the webinar? DIFM is the all-in-one marketing program that we're using to create brand recognition amongst our existing clients first, and then our community second, leveraging both social media, electronic communications like email and blogs, and a state-of-the-art website. So it is our entire image and brand across all three of those platforms, which then allows me to do what I love doing most, which is meet with more people like Chad was talking about.
And Chad, how would you describe it? Somebody asked, what is this different thing? What do I get?
Well, so I would say we can go back a couple of years, and we had our own custom website. So we did not have FMG helping us with the website. We made a decision last year, or maybe it was earlier this year. Was it earlier this year? I think we just got live this year. I think end of last year, we decided, hey, we want FMG to help us recreate our website. And so getting back to, again, that kind of concierge approach on a monthly basis, we get some ideas about some blog posts, some time sensitive items, maybe about tariffs. It could be about, it could be about anything really. Father's Day, as an example, different types of ideas that come up, and we get to look at them as a team and say, yeah, we like that. Well, we're probably not going to go with that, whatever. And it might get posted onto LinkedIn. Shannon helps us do all that. He puts it into our website now that FMG controls our website. And we may customize some things and tweak them a little bit, but then we push them his direction and it gets it up to speed. So getting back to the point of saving time, again, we have that cadence. It provides us some sort of ground rules of, hey, these are best practices. Take them or leave them, whatever. It's
Yes.
not like a forced thing, and it's not without some guardrails. I think that's what I would suggest that everybody kind of pays attention to here. It's like you can make this whatever you want,
Right.
depending upon what you're looking for. You don't have to say yes to everything. And
Yes.
that's what I've always appreciated about it, is the fact that you can customize and design it in a way that works for you. And then you could tweak it and say, well, we're not going to do this many LinkedIn posts, or we're going to do more in the way of video or whatever. But that's been that. So again, that monthly, and there's the recommended content emails, and we have breaks on this. Like, it doesn't, for our practice, it doesn't just automatically happen. We
Yeah.
like to have the conversation each month, and then we'll say to Shannon, hey, we've got a couple upcoming workshops that we're doing on retirement abundance next month. How can we promote that? And he may come back to us with a couple different items, or how can we nurture those people after the fact. And so he's been instrumental in helping us be a thought partner, really, along those lines.
So one thing I love that you both said, you mentioned your concierge. So one of the things that we want to make clear, DIFM stands for Do It For Me. That's the name of the program that we're talking about within FMG. And when you sign up for Do It For Me, or DIFM as we're referring to it, sorry for the acronym, everyone, you are paired with someone from FMG's marketing team who serves as your concierge that meets with you every month. So think of it in the same way that you hold all of your clients accountable. This person is holding you accountable to continue with your marketing. And we all know how powerful that can be. I literally just had this experience, and I'm sure many of you have had this, right? I had a planned meeting with my financial advisor. There was a list of things that I was supposed to do before the next meeting. I had not done any of them. So I hurried up and got them done before the meeting. Having that set meeting, it really does keep you accountable to doing the things that you want to do that you just feel like you don't have the time to do too. So even though we'll execute for you, I'm going to show you here in a minute some examples. Like Doug will sometimes record a video or make the content his own. And having that set meeting, you know, it really does hold you accountable for the things that you want to do, making sure that you prioritize it.
Can I add one more thing, Sam, on that?
Yeah,
That
of
I
course.
would say beyond the timepiece, also the level of expertise. This may not be your jam, right? If you're not focused in on marketing, or you know, this is what you do all the time, you're not going to be that great at it.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Doug and I like to do financial planning. That's kind of our thing, right? We're not marketing gurus or experts, so it's nice to be able to lean on other people that can help our teams get better at it.
I would say
Whether
it's a lot of work. Like Sam
it's a
and
lot of
I
work.
come up with the content calendar and think about all the topics, and then we write them and come up with the thumbnails for every, for the blog and the email and the social posts, and then we write video scripts and a podcast webinar script. And trust me, it takes a lot of time to make it really good.
It really is all in one marketing, that you get to decide what pieces you're going to use, not use, what ones you're going to customize, what ones you're not going to customize.
Yeah.
Then with DIFM, Do It For Me marketing, then you give me my concierge, who then not only helps me analyze the success that our firm has had with our followers and our clients, but also helps guide me on what our people are interested in and where we should focus moving forward, on top of just holding me accountable to getting certain things done. And then because he's an expert in marketing, he's also telling me where the ball's moving to, like Instagram rather than just LinkedIn. And, you know, putting videos into your emails to gain more content, all things that I don't know. He tells me now I get to decide if I want to execute on them or not, based upon how much time or little time I want to put into this. And if I don't want to put any time into it, I want nothing to do with it. Talking about my consistency before DIFM and after DIFM, sometimes it went out, sometimes it didn't. That calendar that you were just showing, even if I do nothing, I do not one thing, that's still going out to all of my clients via the emails you're sending, all of the social posts. So I'm still building my brand by doing nothing. Chad and I choose to actively engage in this more than someone may want to. So you decide how much effort you want to put into it, or how many hours you want to put into it. It's all laid out for you. And don't lose sight of, for those of you who are working with broker dealers like Chad and I do, it also gets managed. They manage all the compliance.
Yeah.
It all is done. There's no submission to compliance. They're doing it for me.
I think, what was I just going to say? So we have a Do It For Me advisory board, and Doug sits on it, as well as like 12 other advisors. And here's an example of how, like, one size doesn't always fit all, but if you get 80 to 90% given to you, you just tweak it. I was writing the, I think it's August. I think August is Disability Independence Awareness Month, or something similar to that. So I wrote a post and I sent it to everybody. I said, does this hit right? Like, it's a topic I wanted to make sure I got right. And I think 7 of the advisors on the advisory board replied, each changing it differently. And then they all were like, you know what? It's really good. One was going to keep it as is, maybe 1 or 2. Others were tweaking a sentence. But bottom line, I always think of it as giving you the content that, yes, you can use as is. And some months you're busier than others, so you do. But it's really like giving you what we believe is the best content to get you 90% of the way there. And then you can spend very little time just making little tweaks that make it your own. And I think that gets to, and I might ask you guys the question, what would you say if somebody's like, but isn't everybody using the same content then? How do you respond to that?
I mean, I can't speak to what everybody else is doing, so that's kind of a hard one to answer. But I will say we really do try to customize everything that we put out there. Just as an example, too. I mean, because we've been working with Shannon here for quite some time, so he kind of understands our vibe.
Yeah, I think
For
that's
example,
a big thing.
it's pretty important, and so we don't like to have a bunch of emojis on our LinkedIn posts, for example, right? So we try to keep it really sleek and clear and simple.
Yeah.
So maybe the content or the topic might be similar to what somebody else might be putting out there, but it probably looks a little bit different. Um,
I
and
mean,
again,
just changing the thumbnail. I know both of you changed the thumbnails on the social posts and the blogs.
right,
Honestly, we're all very visual. We're assessing sort of a post based on the visual. You change that, and 90% of the people think it's different.
right. And I mean, I don't know, it's Doug, no offense, but I'm not looking at your posts.
And that's
My,
Sam.
my guess is you're not looking at mine, but now I'm going to start looking at it. I'm going to say, Doug, are you using my same information? No, I'm just kidding. It's just one of those. It's just one of those things that I don't think that's a
That's
typical
not the
issue.
goal,
My
right?
clients in Seattle are not checking out, what's going on there. And
And I actually thought
sorry,
I would just show while you're talking. I'm going to show some of your posts and then we'll show some of Doug's, and people can
yeah,
see it doesn't look like copy and paste the same content at all. In fact, when I was looking at both of them, I'm like, wow, they really are doing a great job, because
Well,
it does. But even if, let's say, you did change nothing one whole month because it was a busy month, to your point, a client who might be researching a few advisors is not following 5 advisors on social media and on 5 different advisors' email lists for the most part. I mean, that would be very, very rare. And so that is not the
rare.
issue. That's not the issue.
Like email and website, I mean, not even at all. I think what happens is advisors have a lot of advisors in their network. And so
Yeah.
somebody might say, I saw the same thing, but I think you always say, look at who is in your network, who your first connections are. And if it's all advisors, then you're doing social media wrong. And we also coach each month. We send a video on things that you can do to expand your network. And I know both you, Chad and Doug, have done that. Maybe Doug, speak to even off, the different thing. What have you done to expand your LinkedIn network that you could maybe give tips to those that are listening?
I'll touch upon that in just one moment. I want to go back to customizations just for 30 seconds, because I think Chad and I probably do things quite differently, but still ending up with results. Chad, I'm getting the feeling you're probably more custom than I am. I do lots of customizations, but for me, a customization is I get the calendar, I look at the calendar, where can I insert a personal photo? Oh, there's something about college. Let me put my daughter or one of my sons when they graduated college. Last month, I think it was, you had a post about and an email about what would you do? What would you tell your 18-year-old self about finances or
Yeah.
something like that? So I grabbed a photo of myself and my wife at our high school graduations.
Brilliant.
That's customized. It's all your words. I just put 2 pictures in. It takes me, I don't know, 5 minutes to get it done.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll change the wording. Like oftentimes when there's an email going out about
Like
something
the markets or tariffs. I know you edited that one.
right. And so I'll put pictures in there. I'll remove your picture off time unless it's a chart. I'll put a family picture in there, but I'll leave the content exactly the same. I'll just write a 3 or 4 sentence introduction telling my clients about, oh, Cheryl and I were in Savannah. In fact, there's an email coming out in just a few days about market ups and downs and whatnot. I'm using that to tell our clients about how proud Cheryl and we had one of those proud parent moments about 2 weeks ago. Our 3 kids ranging in age from 20 to 34 all took their very first sibling vacation without any input or financial resources from mom and dad. Kind of a cool moment, right?
Yeah.
So the intro was about their trip. The pictures are of them in Austin, Texas. And then we tied it in because while we had time alone, we were contemplating about the first half of the year, which is what the email's about. So it took me 15 minutes, maybe at best, to put the pictures and write the intro. I've just customized that email. It's nothing like anyone else's going out.
And do
So
you just email it to your concierge and then they take care of it?
The concierge already has it in there, so I actually literally just go in there, edit while it's already in there, ready to go, hit submit, it goes to compliance and goes out, I'm done. So
Awesome.
I don't have to email it to them, it's one less step. So what was the
Super cool.
question you asked me? Sorry, I went way
Oh,
off.
I think
We were
you've
talking
expanded
about
your network a lot since you joined Do It For Me. And we were talking about how getting the right people in your feed, you know, not advisors, but the people that you want to target. How have you expanded your network? Just any tips for the audience?
So really great question. So I always go through and look at who has liked our images, and I try to extend those connections. Much like you mentioned, if initially it was a lot of financial advisors in my circle, I'm trying to move outside of that circle and looking for folks that are not industry related. Sure, we have plenty of industry related, but that also leads to other individuals that I can contact. Although I haven't used it yet, I have a good friend who is using some paid service that you can put in there. I want to connect with CEOs, and it will actually do it for you and help you connect with the type of people that you want to connect with. I haven't personally used it, but I know my friend is.
Chad, have you done anything consciously to try to expand your network?
So I'm going to be totally honest. No. That being said, it's one of the things that we're talking about how to better nurture our centers of influence. We've met a number of estate planning attorneys this year, CPAs. We're constantly on the lookout for like-minded professionals that we work with, and one of the areas that I think we can bring them to the table is to see who we are and plug them in within our LinkedIn. I mean, it's interesting. Most of my clients are individuals or families. Do they go down to LinkedIn that often? Not really, right? Some of them do. Some of them are still working at places like Microsoft and Amazon and places like that. But a lot of folks are retired and they're not really jumping into LinkedIn all that much. But I think the professional folks that we work with who are
Yeah.
still engaged in their careers, where we can have topics that are geared around high net worth clients and dealing with certain items that their clients are going to be interested in learning about and understanding that that's an area that we specialize in. I think.
Have you, Chad, have you sent out, have you been leveraging every month? We version the blog into an email that can go to clients and prospects, but a separate one that's written to go to centers of influence. Have you been using that and had any success?
Yeah, I believe so. Now, this is a little one thing I try to do with this is delegate most of this to Miley in my office, right? And it's something we've been talking about. We haven't been doing a lot with it yet, but I think that's again getting back to recognizing we're not doing a great job of nurturing the relationships that we're establishing. So said differently, let's say we go and meet with somebody, have coffee with them, talk about a client that we're both working
Yeah.
for, and we see them one time. It's like planting a seed in the dirt and then not coming back to water it, not having the sunshine.
Well, here's the tip. Make sure your team is using the Center of Influence email, which is completely designed for
that. Yes.
So you just have to add them to your CRM
Right.
group, create that COI group in
Right.
your CRM, and then tell Shannon to make sure that you're dripping.
Mhm.
Those are written with exactly that in mind. It's
Yeah.
high-end, sort of sophisticated planning topics, dripping on it, talking about, no pressure, no sales pitch, but like,
Right.
here's ways we could collaborate. Doug, are you using the COI emails and have you had any success?
So we are using the COI emails to obviously our COIs. Interesting thing about the COI email coupled with our LinkedIn, I can't say there's a specific referral that came to us as a result of specific content. I can tell you that two of my COIs have now written endorsements that'll be going on our website, and I'm not spending every weekend going out to dinner with them.
Yeah.
So I know there's an impact there. There's the branding impact. It's kind of like if you have a LinkedIn and you're not active on it, you're not impacting your existing clients in the manner that you'd like to. When you're active on it, clients are going to continuously at times see things going on in your feed, whether it's personal or professional, and that is legitimizing your business within your existing clients' minds. That was the first thing we noticed when we went to DIFM, is what a massive impact it had on our existing clients, which are much more important to our firm than the potential new client that's going to walk through the door tomorrow. So there is a massive impact if you're active on it. And if you want to expand your base, Susan, you taught me this a long time ago. I can still get better at it. But if you want to expand your base in LinkedIn, you want to try to get active. Comment on other people's posts, like other people's posts. Givers get in this world. And just think about how much time we spend on our phones doing whatever. Take 5 minutes of that time a day and go like and comment on 5 people's posts on LinkedIn.
Like the Sam, he could give our webinars.
I know. I love it. I love it. Well, a few things I just want to point out too that you've all said that I think I want to make sure that everybody hears is number one, Chad said not all of the clients are on LinkedIn. And that's true. If somebody's already retired, they're not going to be on LinkedIn, but pretty much anyone who's not retired, there's a lot of studies that show that LinkedIn is quickly becoming one of the fastest growing in terms of time used on the app. Like the amount month over month that it goes up and how much we're going to it is really rapidly increasing. And also the type of content we're consuming there is changing. So people are looking for more personal posts, personal updates, videos, gaining a lot of popularity. So I wouldn't sleep on LinkedIn. And it's a great platform to connect with the next generation. So if you have clients who maybe aren't on LinkedIn, but their kids are, that is a fantastic way to reach out and connect with them. So they're not seeing you regularly, but they can start seeing your great content and, get a sense of how you work maybe with their parents or the kind of expertise that you have. I also,
Speaking of which, have either of you guys used the family meeting email that we wrote? Have you gotten any family meetings out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chad,
Yes.
done that one?
No, I have not.
All right, we gotta
Doug was saying yes, so I was giving him the floor.
No, we've sent it out. We've gotten responses from it. We've had family meetings here. They're not every week. They're a little bit fewer, far between, but it absolutely, we have gotten responses from that email, that specific email that you're referring to, and scheduled family meetings with the parents and the kids. I love that idea, Sam, about in LinkedIn reaching out to the kids. I have not done that one.
Actually, that's a great one. Take the family members and send connection requests. Just try to work your way through all of your clients and their next gen. The other thing I see a lot of, I'm old enough to have friends who have retired, lucky them. They are active on LinkedIn because they have more time. And I think they're still curious, maybe not in 5 years, but the recently retired, I think they still dabble in LinkedIn. But
no, that's a good point.
Well, if they're not on LinkedIn, that's another reason why we're still doing Facebook and why we're bringing Instagram on. We do believe the older generation is on social media, even if it's not LinkedIn.
For sure.
So I wanted to just highlight some of the great posts that you all have done, just to give everybody some insight and some inspiration.
I want to go to that pool.
Yes. Is that your pool, Doug?
That's Doug's pool and Doug's dog learning how to swim.
So he's got a little video there and I love it. And I think that it's so cute that you tied that in. Memorial Day, we think about barbecues, we think about getting together with family, we think about opening up the pool. So you turned a Memorial Day post into something that obviously people loved and resonated with. You got lots of engagement on that one. And that you're not afraid to just pull out your phone and make a video. Not everybody feels comfortable with that, but you are and you do it and it works. But then you also see things like the 7 year-end tax ideas on your to-do list. So I think it's a nice mix.
Yeah.
And when you do record things like these videos, how long would you say it takes you to make them?
The video of the dog took me 18 seconds.
Yeah.
So one thing, no, in all sincerity, one thing that I've gotten really comfortable with, probably with the help of Will, my concierge, Susan, and others, is it's okay not to be perfect on video and still post it. I come from a generation when everything had to be perfect and you would go through 27 takes to get every word, every pause, every, inflection perfect. It comes across phony. So I'll just pick the phone. My wife gets a little annoyed with me sometimes, but I'll just pick the phone up and start recording a video about something and just put it onto LinkedIn. And it's okay if I stumble a little bit, if I say 3 too many ahs. I'm not worrying about it. It's my authentic self. And that's what I want people to know. I want them to know me.
You're just using your phone, right? Wherever you are. And then you use the FMG platform. You just upload it or have your concierge upload it, right?
100%. Yeah, it's that simple. And then I don't have to worry about compliance because you guys handle all the compliance. It just goes through and comes out. Done.
Love it. And then here's some examples from you, Chad. And what I love about these two is that I think they're great examples of the idea that it doesn't have to just be financial related if it's not 100% personal either. I think people think either like I have to just give a financial tip or it's going to be a photo of my dog. But these tap into the idea that, you know, like the one about hurricane season coming, right? It's things we're thinking about, things that are in the news, things that get conversations going. So, and they're both what we call zero-click content. So written in a way where you can read it and get the gist of it without needing to go read a blog post or something like that. So,
And I think
tell
that's
us a little bit about.
you know, one of the challenges to writing a content calendar for anybody is getting that perfect mix of content. So these are both do it for me posts. And actually the thumbnails, I think are ones that we picked. And they vary. So we have plenty that are on financial topics. Then we have observances, but we also are trying to think about what's timely this month that might be on people's minds. And then we're also thinking about, you know, what's happening in the world right now that clients might be nervous about and then writing about that. So it's like you kind of have to be thinking about wake up every day thinking, is there anything that I should be communicating and or as I think about planning for the next month that would be relevant and then writing on all of those topics, which is a lot.
But I would say a lot of people were probably like, what the heck are you guys writing about hurricanes up in Seattle for? Right? I was gonna say we have clients all over the country.
Right.
That's a big part of it. I have a kid who's going to the Southeast for college, and we have
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, big
so I mean
time.
this is part of the ecosystem of what clients are thinking about, right? So it's important. And I just saw a note about how you guys are helping with regard to events and things. There is you talked about videos. Miley's phenomenal in terms of doing videos that we actually Shannon helped put on our website. I don't know if you guys have our website available, but I don't know if you could show that or not. I don't know if that's important. Um, but she takes videos with her phone of attendees and all of us at our when we do our workshops, our abundance retirement abundance workshops, and then people can get on online and kind of get a feel for the vibe and what we're going to talk about and what people are saying about it. And it has been incredibly useful for prospective attendees to get on our website ahead of time to kind of understand what they're going to be hearing about. And we've gotten a lot of very positive feedback. Almost all the attendees that come to our workshops get on our website first. And so we have an entire section under our events tab that kind of goes into that. I don't know if that's so. I just saw somebody ask that in the chat. So that's
Yeah,
how we're
you
using
see
it.
that? So every quarter, Doug, have you taken advantage of help every quarter putting on an event?
We do not do one every quarter. No, we did a Thanksgiving pie thing, which was
Yeah.
great. In that we were emailing it to the clients and Will, my concierge, he created a website that wasn't viewable by the public. You had to have the link. And
Yeah.
folks would click on the link and there
Landing
was all
page.
the information. It looked like it was our website. It was
Yeah.
awesome. But we're not doing quarterly events, no.
I-
If you wanted to, so for those listening, do it for me. One of the other things they'll do is your concierge. First of all, almost every month, Sam and I and others are brainstorming what would be an awesome event to put on the following month because you need the lead time. And then we do everything from like, what would the invite look like? Social posts, what would the agenda look like? What are your talking points? What's the logistics? Who could you ask to join? Blah, blah, blah. But then the concierge quarterly will offer to actually help you put on, you know, the promotion of the event from the landing page to sending out the emails to the posts and so on. And I've heard from advisors that it's been really, really successful.
yeah.
You know what, Sam, I see some questions like, how can I sign up? Do you think we should do the poll
Yeah,
before?
that's a great idea. I was just pulling up while you're looking at this. This is what the event overview would look like. It gives you everything you need. But yeah, if we would launch the poll, because so many people do have questions, we would love to walk through the price. If you currently are with FMG, what an upgrade would look like, what it looks like to meet with your concierge every month, walk you through examples of the content, answer all your specific questions, maybe you have specific questions about your broker dealer and how that compliance workflow would be. So if you just say yes, please, we will contact you
Say
directly
yes,
to answer
please.
question. And so if you would just say yes, yeah, then we'll answer all those questions and walk you through specifically what it would look like for you in your particular scenario. So everyone
I want to
can.
make sure before we, people probably will start dropping a little bit as we get to the end. I know everybody wants to understand how you guys measure success. So the Do It For Me program, isn't inexpensive. It's $895 a month. Sam and I think that's a bargain for all the time that we put into it, but and getting the concierge. Hold on, there we go.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot. So how do you, as a business owner, think about that expense, and how do you sort of report on it and measure it in your head at the end of the year?
You might want me to go first, Doug?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I look at it from the standpoint of what it would cost us to hire somebody to just be a full-time marketing person, and it's going to be a lot more than what we're spending for this, right? That's first and foremost. Second, if we believe that the content is supportive, and we are believing we are playing the long game, right? We don't know when something is going to resonate. But
Yeah.
we want to be in front of people. It's out of sight, out of mind. It is not the field in Iowa that
Yes.
people are just going to drive their cars to
Right.
show
There's
up.
no
That,
magic button.
that is not, no, but if somebody has a moment, remember we're at life transitions. Somebody goes through a divorce, someone loses a loved one. Those are those moments that we specialize in. We need to be in front of the CPAs, the attorneys, our existing clients and prospective clients who may have attended a workshop, so that when that time does happen, they at least think of us, right? To give us that opportunity. And it's hard to say, oh, here's why this works, because it takes time. It takes time to kind of matriculate and sort of percolate a little bit to get you to those results. But we're seeing some of those results happening now. So it's a very supportive thing in terms of all the other stuff that we're doing.
I think it's, in a nutshell, it is, you have to believe in content marketing as a strategy. Doug, why don't you answer the question?
First of all, I just wanted to say to Chad, what a relief to listen to someone who gets it. Amongst my colleagues who are advisors who aren't doing the type of marketing we are, they're always defaulting to the number one thing that I will advise all of you on this webinar. Do not try to measure this based upon revenues. This is not like doing a seminar. I sent out X number of invitations. I paid X number of dollars for dinners, and I got Y number of assets, which did or did not pay for it. It was a success or not. This is not about the revenues. This is, as Chad said, the long game. Some of the KPIs we're using, Susan, because this is about building a brand, and I will give you a number in just a minute, but I believe revenue is an unfair barometer. I'm looking at things like what percentage of our clients are opening their emails, 54% versus 27% in the industry. That's a win. What's going on with the impressions on my social media posts? Pre-DIFM, we were at about 50. Today, we're at about 300 to 3,000, depending on what I'm putting out there. Our single best post, which was about having your children open up Roth IRAs when they get their first job. I put a picture of myself and my daughter out there. 50,000 people saw that post. That was the largest one we've ever had. That's a win. These are the things that I had 3 new clients. You mentioned 3 potential clients came in over the last month. All 3 independent of themselves and independent of us asking, raved about our website and how well it's been put together. I don't question whether this works. Now, some of you out there still want numbers. So let me give you numbers. I've been using DIFM for 2 years now. First year, I could attribute almost 0 to DIFM specifically. By the end of the second year, I can attribute $10 million in new assets. Whatever you charge for your fee, apply that to it. $800 a month, don't even think about it.
That's amazing. Well done. Well done. And I think one of the things, Susan and I, full-time marketers, this is our whole job. We coach people how to be marketers. We run a marketing business. We just had this conversation yesterday about how the attribution funnel is so difficult in 2025 because it's not like it was 10 or 15 years ago where you say, I sent someone this email, they clicked it, now they're a customer. So we know that email worked. Attribution is somebody gets your name, they look you up online, they see your LinkedIn, maybe they follow you for a little while, then they forget all about it. 2 years goes by, but they're on your email list. They're getting your emails. Now that life event happens that Chad just mentioned. And so then they click the email. So you're like, oh, it was the email, but we don't know which of those touch points it was because you've just been staying in front of them in general. So it's really a combination of factors. And the main thing that we do know, though, is that having no visibility, not regularly sending emails, not having an updated website, not having a social media presence, no visibility is no visibility. And if we could tell all of you, here's all the AAUM you lost by not being visible, obviously that would be amazing, but we can't because we don't know. We don't know all the people that didn't say yes because you just weren't visible. So
I met an advisor who called it the referral leak. And he was like
Oh.
trying to measure the referral leak because he's like, I know I'm staying, he believed he was staying in front of his clients. And this was pre-joining FMG. It was a long time ago, but he realized that referrals go to your website, but not all of them are calling. And if you're not able to wow them, we can go into a website webinar where we talk about, first impressions, 5-second rule and all that. And if you're not on social because they are looking at your social as well, you're not even capturing those referrals. And, that's lost business. But we've heard, every week in our Different Wins channel, we hear about somebody who converted a prospect that they've been dripping on for years or, months. Actually, usually it's years. Like Chad said, you never know when they're going to be ready. You just need to stay in front of them.
Well, and I would add, you want to nurture that possibility of them wanting to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it's the law of the farm, planting a seed. You got to water it, you got to take care of it. You hope the sun comes along and helps you. I mean, that's what this marketing is all about. It's all of these things build to a crescendo, right? And not one thing is necessarily going to be it may happen. There might be that
Rarely.
but it's pretty rare. Yeah, it's got to be a combination of consistent professional efforts, in my opinion.
Back in the day, we used to say how in order for someone to become a client, you had to have 9 meaningful communications with them. And that was in person or telephone calls back when we were doing this. This is another form of that. This is another way to communicate. I saw the person who sent a message in about, do we put prospects before we've met them in our email distribution? Yes, I put everyone in my email distribution until they opt out. They go into the email distribution because with FMG, I can create different groupings. I can create ABC clients. I can create clients and prospects. There's all different ways that I can slice and dice this to be more laser-like or more shotgun approach with my marketing. So everybody goes into the email because I never know, like Chad said, what the result is going to be. Another area that I think oftentimes is overlooked by us advisors when it comes to marketing like this, and possibly even you guys at FMG, is for those advisors like me who are in acquisition mode. When you're trying to compete to acquire businesses, anyone in acquisition mode knows lots of buyers, very few sellers. When you get that opportunity, those sellers are going to go see who you are out in the social media world. It's great to have a presence rather than just a dormant social media site, so to speak.
It's great for recruiting new talent. It's young advisors who want to join. Yeah, it goes so far beyond, you're right, just client acquisition.
Great point.
A really, really great point. Somebody had asked about, could they see more of this summer event? So I just wanted to say that this will be something you're all very excited about to hear. We are actually giving away to all of you who were here today this summer marketing playbook. So you're all going to get sent to your emails our summer marketing playbook that has that example of how to host the event with the invitation, the email copy, the landing page copy, everything you need. Whether you ever sign up with FMG or not, this is our gift to you for spending this hour with us, and it will really help power your marketing. There are some sample emails in there, the sample event, and it should give you a real flavor of what the Do It For Me program does look like. So look for that in your inbox and feel free to take a look at it, use it however you like. Susan, are there more questions that we did not get to yet?
I'm sure we missed some and I'm so sorry, but if you'd like to reach out, do we have a final, you can email us at marketing@fmgsuite.com. If we did not get to your question, we would love to. And I just am so grateful for Chad and Doug and their passion for joining us. We so appreciate you, but I love everybody that joined us
Very,
for the hour.
it was so insightful to hear directly from both of you how you're making your marketing work. And we're so thankful to be able to partner with you both and see the awesome results that you're having with just putting a little bit of time into it. So thank you all for joining. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See ya.